Hey guys, I'm here to talk about an issue that I feel really strongly about, and that's netdecking. As you can see, I have my machine deck as an example to explain my opinion. So I've heard a lot of different stuff about netdecking. Some people say it's good, some people say it's just bad for the game. But to be honest, my opinion about it is that netdecking is a good thing. I mean, for example, you see this machine deck I have. It has the regular stuff that anyone else plays, the gear frames, the fortresses, gadgets, except maybe for scrap recycler. I mean, some people may or may not run this, but even so, like a 1 card difference just still makes it a net deck. Like, even though some people would say it's not. So one of the pros of netdecking, I believe, is that if you're a new player and you bought 3 of these machine decks, and you pretty much have a decent machine build, there's no way you can actually make it better unless you netdeck. And what I mean is that the structure deck only provides a basic of what's needed in a machine build, but a card like this, which surprisingly isn't in the machine structure deck, limiter removal, but is a staple in the deck. There's no way you would know of putting this card in the deck unless if you found a deck list, like in the internet or something. And pretty much netdecking, you don't have to find a deck online, like a competitive deck. You could just copy a bad deck and still netdecking. I mean, that's just one example. Like, I feel like if you're a new player, it helps you a lot if you netdeck, because then you know of certain cards. And one other thing is that you actually save money if you netdeck, because for example, if you play like a spellcaster deck, and then you found a card, let's say Silent Magician, a card that looks cool and has a pretty good effect, like in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's those cards that sound really good, but in the end it just never works out. Like, you could buy, like, let's say a playset, drop it into your spellcaster deck, and then later on when you're playing you have Silent Magician, but there's no way you can summon it. You realize it's a bad card, and you just wasted money like trying out like a new card that doesn't even work. So I mean, netdecking I think is actually really smart, because chances are people already have tried out the combo or new cards that you're probably doing, and it probably doesn't work. Because I mean, anything like if you bought this deck on the first day and you made it, chances are that deck is already online, because there are people out there that are already making the deck before it even came out, like just proxying everything. And another example is some Gravekeepers decks. I've seen them use this card as and then they say they're really original, but I think it's like Gravekeeper's Guard and the Gravekeepers deck. I mean, I feel like if you netdeck, you wouldn't be using this card, because I just feel Guard is just a bad card in Gravekeepers, and I feel you should replace it with, say, Assailant, because I mean, Assailant is just so much better than Guard. But some people who don't netdeck probably don't know that, so I'm just saying, like, if you went into a tournament, it's better if you play the netdeck deck, because then the deck is actually competitive. And if you practicing for like regionals, you actually like get experience playing good decks instead of creative stuff. So I mean, you actually know more about the game if you look up decks, because then you actually find a counter to them. You actually, like, if someone played opened a card, you probably know what deck they have. Like, if they have like if they opened up with like Test Tiger, for example, you know it's Gladiator Beast. Like, but if you didn't netdeck and they play Test Tiger, you probably don't know what they're doing. So I just think like with netdecking, it just makes it play a lot smarter. and more like knowledgeable about the game. And some other examples, like similar to like limiter removal, the Dragoonity deck coming out. If you get 3 of those but you don't net deck, like you probably don't know that you need like Phalanx in the deck also, and 3 of that synchro card, like Virijuino or whatever it's called. So yeah, that's just more of the examples. And some other stuff, back in the day when 6 Samurais came out in the GOAT series, my friend, he played it, but he didn't know that Gateway of the 6 actually, there was a card like that. So I mean, he played 6 Sams without Gateway. I mean if you net deck, you probably would have known that a card like Gateway like existed. So I'm just saying, like, pretty much overall, if you net deck, you know of more cards that actually help your build, like outside of the structure deck, and you're actually like more open to the game. But whereas unless if you didn't net deck, you're just closed off from like other cards you could find out like on the internet and such. So yeah, pretty much I support net decking. So leave your comments below on what you feel about net decking, and I'll probably respond to them. And yeah, that's it.